What's up, Top 5 gamers? It's another season, another bucket load of vaulted weapons that we need to cry about. Okay, well, some of these we can probably jump for joy with the fact that they got removed, but there's a few weapons on this list that we want back, and I think you know what I'm getting at. Yeah, that's right, Thanos' gauntlet. They have removed it from the base game because apparently, and I know this is ridiculous, it's too OP, come on. Like, honestly, who do they think they are? I think some people just need to get good. Am I right, ladies and gentlemen? Okay, no, but here are the top 10 vaulted Fortnite guns ranked from worst to best. And as always, the list's subjective, so deal with it. No, but seriously, don't get upset if you don't agree. Actually, we encourage you to write your own lists or orders in the comments section below and upvote the one that you agree with the most. Speaking of the comments below, if you guys comment the word Thanos, like the video, and subscribe, in the next 1 second, you will win Time's Up. Now that you're confused, use code T5G in the item shop to save 10% or more on car insurance. Join the Discord linked in the description below, and let's get right into the nudes. Number 10 is the bolt-action sniper rifle. For most players that were around in the OG days, the bolt-action sniper rifle was a weapon you'd nearly always want in your inventory. A clean headshot with this would hit anywhere between 210 to 232, depending on the grade of bolty you had. This made it a brilliant weapon for taking deadly shots at your enemies without having to reveal yourself for too long. Just a quick little pop out and in when you need to. Even in the early game, landing on a sniper would usually be fairly bad, but with a body shot between 105 to 116, you could one-shot most enemies that haven't had time to get shields yet. For the beginning of Fortnite's Battle Royale, this bolty was a pretty reliable weapon for all different types of players. But with Fortnite's evolution, we've seen the introduction of others like the heavy sniper and the suppressed sniper rifles, which more fit the current style of play. The heavy sniper definitely stands out in its own way with its deadly 150 plus damaging shots, but you'd still find a lot of players preferring the faster reload of the bolt action. When they added the suppressed, however, the need for carrying a bolt action dropped rapidly. The suppressed sniper had very similar damage ranges to the bolt action, but had the major advantage of being, well, suppressed. There was almost no need to carry a bolty unless you wanted to be seen and heard, which I don't think you want to, because the purpose of sniping is to not be seen or heard. Even though the bolt action will be missed, we can also understand why it was vaulted. Personally, I can never resist that heavy sniper and just being able to one-punch people's builds. But out of all 4 snipers we've had so far, not forgetting the semi-sniper, which one would you always pick up over the others? Let us know in the comments. But in at number 9, we've got the guided missile. This was one of those amazing ideas that could have been truly epic. Hey, there it is again. But didn't exactly go as planned. In Fortnite's first Halloween event in 2017, players discovered rocket riding. The new pumpkin launcher with its giant pumpkin head for a rocket made people realize they could try standing on it. Sure enough, it worked. Rocket riding became a massive thing at the time and is still seen on the odd occasion today. And it's this community-made ability that's probably the original inspiration behind the guided missile that released a short while later in March of the next year during Season 3. You were always able to send your friends off, but you could never rocket ride yourself, and the guided missile was brilliant for that. There were players worldwide testing it out, and to be fair, the self-rocket riding we always wanted worked pretty well. Unfortunately, as an actual weapon, it was a little bit OP. Originally, this did just over 100 damage, had a much longer time limit, and was also faster. Players who found this in the beginning could just camp in a building, picking everyone off, and in late game, it became extremely deadly. Barely a week later, Epic Games vaulted it due to this and the fact that it had a lot of bugs, but it wasn't actually until Season 5 that we got to see it again, but it just wasn't the same. It had essentially been turned into a remote-controlled drone. The damage had been reduced, the speed was greatly slowed, and the timer was a lot shorter. I mean, given that most people liked it for the self-rocket riding, the nerf had made that almost pointless, giving you only a couple seconds of riding time, and the slowed speed made you a sitting duck anyway. The idea was there, it just didn't really quite make it, and it didn't really, well, you know what I'm saying. Considering the skill level in Fortnite today, it's probably good the guided missile has been vaulted. Doubt anyone would feel comfortable using it, but it was fun while it lasted, and that's what matters. Except for the people that never got to experience it at all. I cry every time. Number 8, the submachine gun. So during July of last year, Fortnite went through a massive change to the SMG ranged weapons, vaulting all the old and bringing out a couple of new ones, the compact SMG and the submachine gun. While the compact was causing a lot of controversy at the time, the submachine gun was actually fairly well liked, similar to the drum gun. It had really smooth sounding audio compared to a lot of the pea shooting sounds you usually get with SMGs. Now, it came in 3 rarities, from common to rare, but it was the green or blue that you really wanted. Originally, each would do 20 and 21 damage per bullet, making it a quick 5 to 10 shot kill on its own and a really efficient backup to your shotgun. They did balance that out though, so the damage was reduced to a max of 19 from the blue rarity. However, the gun's fire rate did tend to get a bit annoying for a lot of players. It has the highest fire rate of all the SMGs at 12 bullets per second. Sure, if you hit all your shots, then you'll be eliminating people in barely a second, but most players just found they spent way too much time having to constantly reload it. In January of this year, it was vaulted, and to be honest, there's not that many people that were exactly dying to see it again. Unless you have laser aim at close range, then this was probably one of your favorite shotgun backups. And in at number 7, we've got the Burst Assault Rifle. Burst rifles always have a bit of a love and hate relationship in all games. One side of the community usually hates them, refusing to ever pick ones up as it wastes too much ammo, while others seem to love them and talk as though they've mastered the way of the burst and how it can be like a shotgun at close range. While both sides have merit, it was actually the first shot accuracy mechanic that turned a lot of players away from the Burst Assault Rifles in Fortnite. It made the whole gameplay of a burst feel way too RNG based. You got your 3-round burst, right? The first bullet will have the first shot accuracy, but the next 2 would be complete bloom. See, this makes sense as it's called first shot accuracy, but the bloom effect on the other 2 bullets were just too inconsistent to ignore. I mean, sometimes you'd hit all 3 shots in perfect unison with the recoil, but most times they would just fly off randomly. In May of last year, they added the epic and legendary variants for the burst, which were a lot more reliable, but the overall feel for these burst assault rifles had already been lost, and the original gray, green, and blue bursts were vaulted in early January of this year. Barely a few weeks later, at the end of January, the epic and gold variants were vaulted as well. While the original burst ARs may not be missed that much, the later epic and gold variants were still an enjoyable weapon to use, and I'm sure that more than a few will miss them. I know I won't. Number 6, heavy shotgun. When Fortnite's Battle Royale was in its first few seasons, we only had 2 types of shotguns, the tactical and the pump. Then during season 3, we finally got a new kind, the heavy shotgun. It was essentially a hybrid between the pump and the tack, combining the tack's larger magazine and fire rate with the pump's range and headshot damage while balancing it all out into one gun. During the time we had this heavy shotgun, I think a lot of the community were 50-50 between which they'd rather use. Am I going to use the pump or the heavy shotgun? I honestly couldn't resist the heavy just for the extra mag size. It helps compensate for my aim. But in January just gone, the heavy was vaulted, many assumed due to the epic and legendary variants of the pump shotgun taking their place. However, in this segment, we've actually got a bit of a surprise for any of you fans of the heavy shotgun. In the Season 9 main loading screen, you can see the purple skin Stratus on the right holding what appears to be the heavy. Many speculate this means we'll be seeing its return at some point down this season. Number 5 is the Suppressed Assault Rifle. Added last year in September, the Suppressed has been a fairly popular weapon amongst many in the community. We've been seeing the fabled Scar in a vast amount of games as a high-tier weapon. Sure enough, the Scar is in Fortnite, and it's only available in epic or legendary variants. So when we got the Suppressed version of it, it wasn't too surprising that many took to it. Plus, we'd had many silenced weapons before, but this was our first silenced AR. It was everything you'd imagine it to be. Stealthy, just a tiny bit less damage than the normal Scar, and it even sounded nice. There was just one problem. The bloom on this gun was one of the worst in the entire game. You seriously had to control your trigger finger for the Suppressed Assault Rifle. You wanted to hit anything. They added a nice countermeasure to the bloom though, and the Suppressed was actually one of the fastest for having its first shot accuracy reset. So you take time between shots, it can be incredibly deadly. It's just a pity that at close range, when you're spraying the silent Scar, you're just praying for at least a few of the bullets to hit. Number 4 is the heavy pump shotgun. In November of last year, the Fortnite gods gave us something that we never knew we needed until we needed it, or saw it. Epic and legendary variants of the pump shotgun. They were exactly the same as the original pump in terms of core mechanics, but obviously slightly stronger due to their rarity. What I personally loved about these variants was the bulky Spas 12 looking frame it has. It just looks a little bit more beast. You guys have ever played Modern Warfare 2 or Modern Warfare 3 or Modern Warfare? You guys know that shotgun is not a force to be reckoned with. Likewise, in this game, as you most likely now know though, all the pump shotguns of all varieties were vaulted at the beginning of Season 9. They actually gave an explanation behind this, including that they wanted a new season that allows for a new gaming experience, and that currently over 26% of encounters ended in a pump shotgun elimination, far exceeding the gun in second place. They basically wanted to mix things up a bit, and sure enough, they've done just that. We did it. Woo! Number 3 is the tack SMG. For all you OGs watching, you'll probably remember the old days of having a tactical SMG to back up your shotgun. The original Submachine Gun was okay, but the tack SMG was just way too satisfying. A lot of games, you'll always find a really annoyingly weak weapon that most will describe as pea shooter. Well, this was the one time I would call it a pea shooter in a good way. Had that proper little pew pew sound, and its core bulky body frame always reminded me of a paintball gun full of ammunition. Definitely a little pea shooter. It was just a really fun and deadly one to use. Honestly, when I found an epic grade tactical SMG, I'd often drop my pump and just use the tack SMG for those close range fights. I will admit it was terrible to be on the receiving end of this thing, but its blue variant did 19 base damage while the purple did 20, turning converting it from an 11-shot kill to a 10-shot kill on a fully shielded player with a clip size of 35. You had plenty of room for any mistakes in accuracy. I swear, man, I was just lagging. That was it, guys. It was vaulted in July of last year and has actually shown up briefly since. Its popularity even gained an opportunity to return with the unvaulting event, but had no chance against the horde of drum gun users. Number 2 is the energy-based Zapatron. Out of all of the weapons on this list, Zapatron is by far the rarest battle royale weapon in existence, and in all honesty, I just wanted to try the thing before they yanked it from our very fingertips. When the game first dropped in late September of 2017, for a couple days, the Zapatron was a legendary energy-based sniper rifle. I know, I thought it was like the Wonder Waff, but nope, it was a sniper rifle, and you had less than a 5% chance of getting this thing from a supply crate, and then it was removed. Yep, and it was just gone, just like that. Many rips in the chat. In all seriousness, they had a gun in the game for like 2 days, and were like, hey guys, maybe this doesn't suit the game after all, let's scrap it, and that's how the vault was created. For that reason, there's barely any footage of this weapon. The Zapatron is a sniper rifle, but it shoots a burst of bullets as well. A sniper shot is actually a charged shot. Understandably, they didn't feel this energy weapon suited the game, but with everything that's happened in the story and all the variety of items and weapons they've added since, I doubt it would exactly seem that strange. Number 1 is the pump shotgun. Get your tissues out, boys and girls. Get the tissues ready. I'm honestly not sure how I can do a commentary on this weapon without the comment section jumping on me, but I'll try to be as respectful as possible. They've definitely made their mark as the alpha shotguns in the Fortnite pack, and when their big brothers came along, the epic and legendary variants, there was no budging them from that top position. The new pumps were introduced when shotguns were basically fixed, though. It was the original gray, green, and blue pumps that we went through the trenches with scrape shots hitting for as little as 6 damage when getting double pumped in the face was a daily hobby, and the memes that are still going today. We went through it all with the pump shotgun. For that reason, it's our number 1 vaulted weapon, but that's just us though. Let us know what you thought was the worst or best down below. Personally, I miss the days of being able to double pump. Click the like button if you've enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Push notifications on. Oh yeah, use code T5G. If you don't do that, they're not gonna let me leave. Please, use code T5G. I'm not allowed to leave. And join the Discord. You got to join the Discord. It's just that simple. But keep it here on Top 5 Gaming.